What is up, guys? This is Tom Sheck with Choice Coaching. It's great to have you back. I want to talk today real quick about goals. As a coach, this is something that I focus on a fair bit with clients, is figuring out what their goals are. I ran across an interesting study from the Harvard Business School or something like that that said that 83% of the American population doesn't have a current goal that they could tell you. Mind-blowing, right? They don't know what they're working towards. 14% have a goal but don't have it written down, and only 3% of those people polled in this study had an actual written goal. Now, the interesting thing about that is, A, if you don't have a goal, obviously you're not going to get to the outcome of a goal. So you're more likely to feel disenfranchised, like you're struggling, that kind of stuff. But for me, as a coach, as somebody who writes goals all the time, one of the most interesting things was that the difference between the people who have a goal, but it's in their head, versus the people who have written down a goal. The people who write down their goals are 33% more likely to actually achieve that goal than just having them in their head. And so, today I'd love to just invite you to look at what are your goals? Where are they written down? And a couple of quick pointers. We could talk about goals for hours, and often I do if you get me in front of a beer and a willing audience. But a couple of things. Write them down. First off, write them down. That's a key point. Put them in front of you on a regular basis. If you saw our last video talking about focus, that helps you focus. But another part of writing it down is it makes you be at least a little bit specific. And depending on which goal setting format you're using, specificity generally comes into all of them. A specific goal is more likely and more easily achieved than a non-specific goal. And all that means is, if I say my goal is to help kids, I can do that a lot of different ways, and it's really hard to be specific about whether or not I've achieved that goal. But if I specifically say, I want to spend 5 hours a week sitting down as a math tutor at an inner city school, that's really easy to determine whether or not you've achieved it. And so it makes you far more likely to go out and accomplish it. If you got to 4.5 hours in that inner city school, you're likely to find a way to find that extra half hour. And then the other piece of it is identifying a plan to get there. And that's kind of at the advanced end of goal setting. I know that sounds really basic, but it makes a lot of sense. If you have a plan to get somewhere, again, you're more likely to get there. So we start with a goal, we make sure that that goal is specific, and then we come up with a plan that works for you. And that can entail a lot of different pieces, and that might be something we talk about again in another video. But come up with a plan for how you want to get there, because then you start to include things like timetables and actionability and a lot of those kind of key things that lots of different goal setting frameworks include. So sit down today, ask yourself, what are your goals? Take a pen, take some paper, write them down, and see how much more quickly you achieve them. My guess is you'll be surprised. I know I have been, and so have a lot of the people I work with. That's all for today. Look forward to talking to you again soon.